Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new, hi, my name is Jessica. Subscribe to my channel. Today's video is going to be really different, something that I've never done before on my channel, and it's going to be a story time video. I'm going to tell you guys a story about something that happened last night, and I think it's really important that I say this now because obviously it just happened last night, so it's like fresh on my mind and I don't want to miss like any details or anything like that. This story time is going to be about the moment that I thought someone had broken into my house. And let me just start by saying that this was the scariest moment of my entire life. Like, my body went into full shock. I was so scared, as anyone would be in a situation like that. It was just the absolute scariest moment ever, and I don't wish this feeling upon anyone because it's absolutely terrifying. It's horrible. It's traumatic. Like, honestly, it's the absolute worst. Let me begin and tell you guys how it all started. So last night, me and my husband were watching TV like normal, and it comes around that time when we're gonna go to bed, so we turned everything off. We made sure the doors were locked, TV was off, lights were off, everything's off. So we go to our room, we go to sleep. Well, actually Tommy falls asleep because I was having trouble sleeping, so I was watching YouTube videos. And I didn't want like my videos to disrupt him or his sleep because obviously that's very rude. So I wanted to grab my headphones so that I could just watch my videos with my headphones on. But my headphones were in my makeup room. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to my makeup room, grab my headphones, pop them in, watch videos, and like eventually fall asleep. So I opened the door to my master bedroom, and whenever you open the door to my master bedroom, there's a hallway. And then there's another hallway that goes like that leads into like the family room, dining room, kitchen, and all that. So when I open the door, I see that there's a light turned on, and it's coming from like the living area. And my first initial thought was, oh, it's probably just our roommate. He's probably just like in the living room or eating dinner or something. So I didn't really get scared like the moment that I saw the light on. However, I was very hesitant when I saw it on because I knew that he was working that night, and I didn't think that he was going to be there so early because he usually lets us know. I wasn't instantly afraid, but I was like, something's up, right? So when I opened the door and I saw that light, I thought to myself, okay, it's probably just our roommate. So I yelled out, hello, is someone there? And the moment that I yelled that out, I heard rummaging, like footsteps and rummaging. Obviously, whenever I heard that, that scared me half to death because obviously if it was our roommate, he would have just said like, yeah, guys, it's me, or hey, it's me, or something, you know? And the fact that I heard rummaging and footsteps, honestly, you guys, like I cannot explain the rush, the feeling, the fucking fear that was like instantly, like that I felt instantly. Like, it was honestly the worst. I shut the door, I lock it, and I tell my husband, I'm like, I think someone is in the house. The moment that I said that, he didn't even like question, he didn't say anything. He just literally jumped out of bed, got his weapon, and he was about to open the door to go and investigate, but I was honestly so afraid and I didn't want anything to happen to him. So I was like, you know what, no, I really don't want you to go out there, please, like, don't go out there. Like, can we just please just open up a window and hop out the window? And so that's what we did. Like, we opened up the window, and keep in mind, you guys, like, we are in our sleeping clothes, it's cold outside, it was just raining, so everything outside is wet. So we open the window and we hop out. So it's not a good situation, so we literally hop out the window, and he's in front of me, he has his weapon, and he has a flashlight, and we're like ducked down because obviously, like, if someone is in the house, like, we don't want them to see us, you know? So like, we're trying to keep low so that they don't see us. So like, he has his weapon, he has his flashlight, and I'm behind him, and we're just like not crawling, but you know, like hunched over and like just going along the house to make sure that no one is like there. We see that the back door is closed and that the windows are fine. It doesn't look like they're shattered or anyone like broke into it, but we do see that the living room light is turned on, and that honestly scared me so much because I was like, okay, like, what the fuck? As we're making our way around, you know, we see that the living room light is on, and then we get to the front of the house. When we get to the front of the house, I instantly, not run, but like I power walk out towards like the streets to see if our neighbors are awake, and thankfully our neighbor was in their garage, and then their neighbor was also outside because they had just gotten there because like people were coming out of the car. So I was like, okay, if we need help, at least our neighbors are awake and we can run to them if we need assistance or if we need help or something. So then once I see that, I start to feel a little bit more calm, but still like my body is in complete shock. Like, I am shaking uncontrollably. Every inch of my body is just like trembling. I am so terrified. Like, I'm honestly like just freaking the fuck out on the inside, but on the outside I'm trying to keep my composure, trying to keep my cool, you know, obviously, because in a situation like that, like, it's either flight or fight. Obviously you're trying to survive, you don't want to die. So you have to just be like headstrong and be like, okay, you know, like we've got this, we're gonna get through it, like everything's gonna be fine. Like just you're on your fucking A game, like you're so concentrated, but at the same time you're so scared, you're so terrified. It's honestly so scary, the thought of like someone being in your house and like your life being endangered. It's the absolute worst feeling, and I honestly, like I said, I do not wish this upon anyone. Like I really hope that no one ever gets to experience something like this, because it's the absolute worst feeling in the entire world. So once we see that the neighbors are outside, we open up our garage. And whenever we're opening up our garage, we look up and on the roof, there's this cat. So let me give you guys a little backstory about this cat. Before we moved in, we believe that this cat either used to live here, used to belong to the previous owners and they just left it behind, or it's like a neighborhood cat or something, because ever since we moved in, it's always coming to either our front door or our back door, and it will just sit there and like meow. And obviously we're not evil people, so we started feeding the cat, because we obviously, like, we're human and we feel bad for it because it's probably been starving for like God knows how long. So we just bought cat food and we started feeding it. I think that whenever she saw that we were outside, she like, you know, wanted us to feed her, so she like made her way out. Another thing, like within the first month when we moved in here, my husband was doing work in the backyard, and he noticed that the cat had come out from the attic. So he saw that from the outside, and he told me, he's like, hey, I think the cat is living in the attic. And I told him, I was like, I kind of don't want the cat living in the attic, so can you just like patch it up? And so he did, he patched it up, but we think that the cat might have found like a different way to get in through the attic. That's that with the cat. So then whenever we open up the garage door, you know, we then come into the house and we search it. We search every room. We make sure that all the windows are locked and that no one try to like get in through the window. We check all the doors, and so the whole house seems to be clear. Once we kind of had like a bit of a peace of mind knowing that like, okay, no one is in our house, it's just us, everything seems to be fine, like no windows are open, no doors are open, everything is locked and everything is good, then we really started to like think about, okay, like what the fuck just happened? We came to the conclusion that we believe the cat was what made like that rummaging footstep noise, because the moment that I said hello, is someone there, I heard that, and we think that maybe she heard it too, so she started to make her way out of the house, which is why we found her on the ceiling, and that she was trying to get out so that she could go to the backyard so that we could feed her. And then the light in the living room being turned on. Okay, so the light in the living room is really tricky and it's really scary and confusing, and I don't know why it happens, but it does. The light in the living room is controlled by a remote. So whenever you turn the wall switch on, it obviously works with the remote. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, you can turn the fan on and off, but whenever you have the wall switch off, it doesn't work at all. So last night, whenever we turned everything off, we actually forgot to hit the switch and we just turned it off with the remote control. What happens is that for some reason, whenever we turn it off with the remote control, it will turn back on by itself. We've had this happen a couple of times, and I remember the very first time that it happened, it was so fucking scary because we thought it was like a ghost or something. And then the second time that we saw that happen was whenever we had left our blinds open and we went to the store, we came back and it was already nighttime and the light was turned on, and we were like, did we forget to turn the light off, or like what's going on? And we also thought, okay, it could have just been our roommate, maybe he forgot to turn the light off or whatever. But whenever we went in the house, no one was there, and we just came to the conclusion that, okay, like the light switch is faulty or something, like the remote control or the fan itself is just like faulty. So that's what happened. Like that explains why the light was on, is because we forgot to hit that switch. That's pretty much what we came down to, that the light was turned on because of the faulty wiring or like whatever, and we just forgot to hit the switch. And then the noise, we came to the conclusion that it was the cat. Like honestly, dude, that cat gave me a fucking heart attack. It was so scary though. Like in that moment, whenever I saw the light on and whenever I heard that noise, like your brain, whenever it's in a situation like that, like your brain just doesn't process things like how it normally would. Like I didn't sit there and think like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this. It was just like, it's 11 o'clock at night. We're by ourselves. We know we're by ourselves. The light is on and we just heard something. So what the hell is it? It was honestly just so frightening. Like I said, my body went into like full shock. I was shaking so much. Like every inch of my body was just like trembling, like shaking, like I could not, like, it was just honestly so terrifying, and I honestly don't wish this upon anyone. I hope that this doesn't happen to any one of you guys, because it's honestly the absolute worst. And we're just so glad that it was nothing, and that like it wasn't an actual burglar, and that it, like our lives weren't actually endangered in any sort of way, because that would just be awful and terrible. That was just like the scariest moment of my entire life. Like I swear to God, I'm honestly a little bit traumatized from this, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. And then after it happened, once we found out that it was just us two in the house and that it was nothing, We honestly had like a really hard time falling asleep because obviously like your body just went through some scary shit. Like it's still trying to process, you know, it's like adrenaline and like fear and all of that. It was just the worst feeling ever. But I'm just so glad that it was nothing serious, that we're alive, that we're okay, that our house is fine. I just really wanted to share this story with you guys because it was just something so traumatic and so scary that I just thought it would be fun to share. So I know this video is really different than what I normally do, but if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.